If you're thinking of soundproofing a room and not really sure what you need for material, this is the video for you. I'll make two parts to this video. This first part is what you'll need for material if you don't really want to tear down the walls and be able to soundproof an existing wall, door, or window. The second part, I'll go more in depth on what you'll need to buy if you're willing to remove the drywall and start from the studs. You can DIY that as well, but it can be a more intimidating soundproofing project. But before you begin soundproofing, you'll need to know what type of noise you're trying to block, because knowing this will help you decide what type of soundproofing material you'll need to buy. The two types of noise you're looking to block is either airborne noise like voices or music without too much bass, or structural noise where it's a noise that also creates vibration like bass or footsteps over your head. Blocking these types of noise are a bit trickier and will require you to remove the drywall and really get in there if you want to eliminate as much noise and vibration as possible. So when soundproofing a room, before even thinking of soundproofing the wall, you'll need to take care of the great big holes in the wall where most of the sound is coming through, which are your doors and windows. Typically when soundproofing a room, you'll begin with soundproofing the door, and instead of giving you links all over the video that usually pops up there somewheres, in the description below I'll leave links to 3 playlists: soundproofing doors, soundproofing windows, and soundproofing walls. After this video, go check the playlist that is more relatable to your current soundproofing project. I'll also have links to all the material I recommend and talk about in this video. These links are for Amazon and Home Depot, and to keep things transparent, these are affiliate links, which means I make a small commission from the products or anything else you buy using my links at no extra cost to you. It's a way to support my work without having me charge you a membership or something like that. So thank you. So soundproofing the windows and doors requires pretty much the same types of material. For both windows and doors, you'll need some acoustical sealant and self-adhesive Weatherstrip. The reason most of the noise is coming through these areas are the gaps and the cracks around the windows and the doors, so sealing them is definitely where you should begin. First, we'll start with the acoustic sealant. There's many brands out there, but all the acoustic sealants effectively does the same thing. It helps absorb vibrational noise, and it also stays rubbery over time, where regular caulking will eventually harden and crack as home shifts. Just apply the acoustic sealant around the door casing and window casing. The easiest way to know for sure if you have gaps around your door is by turning off all the lights except the one on the other side of the door. If you see lights shining through, then you know where to begin. Acoustic sealant can also be used around the window casing, where the wall meets the casing, and also where the window meets the casing. As the home shifts, cracks will begin to form, so it's important to seal them. Most people wouldn't think that a single crack can let as much as 50% of the outside noise into the room. So remember that when you think a small hairline crack shouldn't make a difference. You can also use acoustic sealant to soundproof a wall. Most people wouldn't think an electrical outlet could be a source of noise, but this is yet another hole in the wall that most likely was not soundproof. As you can see on your screen, the best way to soundproof the electrical outlet box is by wrapping it with a product called Putty Pads, but your wall would need to be open for you to be able to accomplish this. What you can do with an existing wall is by sealing around the drywall and the electrical box. Since you're not able to seal the holes where the wires goes into the box, this is the next best thing. Next soundproofing material to add on your list is a self-adhesive Weatherstrip. I personally like this one best because the strip splits in two and fits perfectly in those narrow parts of the door casing where the door meets the casing. Essentially, the Weatherstrip will make so the door is closed tightly, doesn't wobble, which will leave a lot less space for noise to creep through. Just make sure the area is clean and dry before you apply the Weatherstrip, because the glue on the self-adhesive part will not stick to dust. You can also use this type of Weatherstrips on your windows. If your window doesn't close tightly anymore, adding a layer of Weatherstrip should seal it up nicely. Next item to have on your list is a door sweep. You know the big gap between the floor and the bottom of the door? That's where most of the noise is coming through, so you'll want to close that gap with a door sweep. One thing to remember, however, is that a door sweep can restrict airflow in the room, so make sure it's well ventilated and that it also doesn't screw up your ventilation system. If you hear a whistle-like noise, you'll know it's time to open the door and remove the door sweep completely. One way to try before spending the money on a door sweep is to just cover the bottom of the door with a blanket and see if that does anything. The door sweep I recommend is this industrial rubber sweep because it will last a lot longer than a cheap vinyl door sweep. Another item to soundproof your door is a soundproof door panel. This door panel is quite heavy and packed full of material to not only absorb noise but to block noise as well. They cost around $500 and are custom fit to the door. You just stick the provided Velcro to the door or door frame depending on the type of doors you have, and that's it. What's nice is that it's something you can take with you when you move to your next place if you're renting. On the other hand, one thing that's cheaper and looks way better than a door panel is a solid core door. Most interior doors inside a home are hollow core doors because they're much cheaper, but noise comes through a lot easier than a completely solid wood door. So switching your hollow to a solid core door is a good way to spend your money on soundproofing material. So heading back over to the windows, you'll want to add sound deadening curtains, also known as blackout curtains. These types of curtains are thicker than regular curtains and it comes with a black felt in the middle of the 3 layers and does a good job at not only blocking the sun but also absorbing a bit of noise. It's not going to be a miracle soundproofing treatment for your window, but it will drown out a little bit of the sound that does come in. One trick to make this a little more successful is to only use a single panel curtain. This way you eliminate the middle gap where most of the noise will come back through. You can also go a step further and use an industrial Velcro to stick and seal all sides of the curtain directly to the window frame. All you need to do is sew one side of the Velcro tape onto the curtain, stick the other piece of Velcro around the window frame, and you're all set. You can buy clear Velcro for this since black Velcro might show too much if you have light colored curtains. You can even go a step further and buy a custom fit window panel. Here I'm testing out a window panel from a company called Indo Windows. These things aren't cheap and will cost you between $500 and $1,000 depending on the size of your window. It might be less than $500 if your window is much smaller than the one you're seeing on your screen. One thing for sure, if you go ahead and find this video in my window soundproofing playlist, you'll be impressed as to how much noise it actually blocks. I like these types of panels because they're see-through and won't completely block out the sun. Now let's go back to soundproofing a wall and what type of soundproofing material you'll require. To soundproof an existing wall, you'll need some mass-loaded vinyl, MLV for short. MLV is a very heavy and dense material that not only absorbs sound but also blocks it. Covering the wall with this stuff will definitely make a noticeable difference. Only tip is that you'll either want to buy small rolls or have a helper with you if you buy a bigger roll because this stuff is pretty heavy. But you'll want to cover up that mass-loaded vinyl with another layer of drywall. I'd recommend the 5 and 8-inch drywall. It's worth a few dollars more you'll pay compared to the half-inch drywall that's found in most homes. So I might as well stop right here for this video to keep it simple. Make sure to subscribe and come back for next week's video where I give you my picks for best soundproofing material for when you're not afraid to take down the walls. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time.